So how do you prepare tracks for mastering? Now this video is a repeat of a video I've done previously. I mean, I've probably done it a few times, but this was the very first #1 video that I did in 2009 for my YouTube channel, how to prepare for mastering. So here we go again. I don't know if it's changed, but this is how I would do it now, 10 years later. Now, I want the tracks in the best way that somebody has mixed them. I want them to do it exactly how they can get it sounding the best in their room to their ears. Now, things have changed a bit. People are using limiters more now. So if they're mixing into the limiter, I want that limiter taken off and I want to hear the mix without the limiter. And I also want to hear the mix with the limiter so I know what they were doing and I can hopefully do it in another way. But by taking the limiter off, it means that I've got a little bit more headroom. Now, when it comes to headroom, when you're presenting a track for mastering, you want it kind of sitting around kind of -5, something like that, just so it's not really a number, but it's just the fact that you haven't then got any peaks going on. You're not going to go in the reds. It's not going over. Don't know, sorry about all the waving. You're then not going over, and then it means that there's enough space for me to have dynamics and me to carve the top end off. So if you've got certain instruments that are quite spiky, as long as that spike's there and I can then push it up, I can then curve it round and make it sound nice and still have some energy and juice to it, rather than it just being smashed and crushed and I can't do anything once it's smashed and crushed. Having said that, if you have a track and you've got it limited and it is smashed and you like that sound, there's no reason why you can't master from that, but you have to have your expectations right. You have to realise that you're starting from a place where you're sort of hampering the mastering engineer because it's already crushed, the sound's already pushed down, so you're not going to be able to get a super dynamic track. You're not going to get more space in because you've already crushed the space down. And what a good mastering engineer, and why the reason you're paying for bespoke mastering, is because the mastering engineer can keep the space, can get it louder, and can add space as well if they're good enough, and can also then make all the instruments sound cleaner and crisper. So by crushing it, by smashing it in, and by having the attitude of, well, I'm good enough, I think this is how good it should sound, and that's it, and kind of having that attitude of, I know what's best, it kind of stops you achieving something better. So I would say it's always a good idea to smash the track into a limiter if that's what you want to do, but always make sure that you can take that limiter off afterwards and then present it that way. Now, when it comes to file types for when you're giving it, do not sample rate convert. Export the file at the sample rate that you have made it in your DAW, and also don't try and do too many dither settings and stuff like that. It's best when you're mixing to mix it, say at 48K, 24-bit or 32, and then export it or whatever you've done. Don't dither it and don't sample rate convert it. That way the mastering engineer can get it and they can make that decision on your behalf by using their ears and using their tools, because they're specialists in it and that's what they do. So don't do sample rate conversion. You can kind of change the sound and ruin the sound with a lot of bad sample rate conversion. So leave that to the mastering guy. Export it at what you made it in. Now, the only other thing I can say is what's file type. Now, obviously, MP3 is a no-no. If you are stuck and you've only got an MP3, then you can use it. But you've got to realise that you're going to have a lot of frequencies missing. Anything over like 15K is going to be gone. A lot of the bass frequencies are going to be gone. So, you know, it's not great. So don't do MP3s. Don't make an MP3 into a WAV to kind of think that you've done that, because you're not doing that. You can't add those frequencies back in. So don't do that. You need to give it to the mastering engineer as a WAV file or an AIF file, and then they can do what they want to do. So that's really all I've got to say on how to prepare your tracks for mastering. I hope that helps you. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if I've missed anything off that you think is super important. But as far as I'm concerned, I just want the tracks in so that I can do my thing, and I don't want you to have sample rate converted it and done all that, because I want to be left to do what I do best, and that's to make it sound amazing, have loads of space, super dynamic, really loud, really tight in the right places and open in the right places. And I don't want to ruin that by using bad sample rate conversion, bad dither settings, and all the things that are then out of my control. So I hope that's helped. I'll chat to you in the comments. Goodbye.